outside and he heard shots. He didn't remember how many. He said everyone said run out and I ran out. He said it happened about 9 a.m. Yeah. He couldn't stay. He said multiple shots. Among dozens of other UPS employees were, standing around shaking. He will. This is not said what's happening. But they've. No, I haven't seen anything. Where I talked to him, 17th and U. Or actually 18th and U. 17th.
think she wants me to do it.
I know. I can. I don't either, and I also figured,
Did the PIO say anything, Paul?
Not yet.
Why can't just start? I'll check up on that. Sorry. So
and sort of neutralize the threat as this scene is unfolding.
And what Kasia said, everyone is a suspect until cleared.
Exactly.
That's exactly what
1CM1 for 100-459.
Right, and you know what a fact it is of daily life that we have to take this workplace shooting, this active shooter training.
100-459 Mary Park.
Let's just say you're inside an
Room
office building,
204 in the phone room.
You're downstairs on the first floor. You're told to leave
10-4, I'll be 98 with the delay. I'm coming from the academy.
And walk out. Law enforcement will check you to make sure that you're safe and not a threat, and then leave you
want?
safely. That is exactly what we saw play out here live on the screen.
Over to housing maintenance.
I'll mention for you,
It's always
crews are
that kind
taking
of an
one step
issue.
down the line, as we do know the medical examiner is here at the scene. We also don't know exactly how many people have been affected by the shooting. We've been checking with SF General. The hospital says it does not yet have any information they can give to us about any number of people who may be getting treated there at SF General, but certainly that
1050 to
Operation
Command.
shooting victims to go. This is happening at a time, 9 o'clock in the morning. Most people who are supposed to be at the office are at the office already. I'm assuming that building was also full of just, regular customers, many of whom perhaps might be coming to that building for the very first time, as well as other workers who might know it like the back of their hand. So again, when you say that there's a shooting that happened at the UPS building, the big question here is, was the shooting in fact targeted? Is it perhaps someone in any way connected to that building for any reason, or is it a random shooting that has essentially locked down a fairly large portion of this neighborhood in San Francisco?
And now you see in that video on the left hand of your screen that group of about, I would estimate about 3 dozen, what look to be UPS employees being led away from the area. So they've been escorted sort of out of our view after Henry Lee told us that he saw those employees being searched and interacting with police.
Area 110 to Charlie 300.
There's also the mobile command
Go ahead.
that Sal mentioned.
I can assist by monitoring, but be advised I am the only 100 in the Ingleside right now.
The UPS facility.
Oh, all right. Well, I copy helping out.
And usually when I see something like this
Hey, Corey, do you mind going out to another outlying district to see if we can get someone else? We're going to be tied up here for a little bit.
Copy.
Teams, it looks like we have Paul Chick. Paul, are you there? Paul's putting on his earpiece. I think Paul is just about to report from the scene. Paul, if you can hear me, go ahead.
I can hear you. You can see this is an active scene right here. We are along 101, but we're showing you down on 17th Street.
Charlie
Now,
113.
you see what appears possibly 2 bodies. They are covered with yellow tarp right now. They're in the intersection in the right there, 17th Street, where the officers are surrounded. Now the street is closed down all the way around. City, we can go to the right over here. There's a bunch of UPS drivers
Charlie
in
113.
uniforms being corralled and put in this little pen situation behind
113,
the
go.
street where everything happened.
Yeah, with the exception of 4, if they're still having their tactical traffic, can we go out all and have all the units that were on the perimeter that have a TCO on the outer perimeter, which means a full block off the front scene, the Station 904 17 if you thought to be redeployed, or possibly cutlass.
This is inactive. You can see there's a bunch of UPS people coming out of the area which was corralled, as you can see. I'd say about 10, 20, 30. It looks like it keeps going on with more people coming out of the situation heading to the street.
904, check out the
where they are is where the bodies are covered with tarp. Hopefully we will not be showing you that right now. There are officers all around this building here on 17th Street. And like I said, we are along 101. To the hospital when we saw this scene.
1725 here, request.
Had his eyes out. As you can see, this is exactly what I'm seeing right now. So I apologize if I'm repeating myself. But as I said, this is an active scene. Once again, if you're just now joining us, we're along 101 right now. There's the active scene on 17th Street behind the building of the UPS area where the shooting has occurred. Now, we have been told there have been several people taken to Zuckerberg General Hospital.
Yes, sir, my friend.
As I said, right now, it appears to be 2 targets.
Be advised for Charlie 113, any units on the outer perimeter of 217 in a full block out has been relieved by PCO 904 17 in Utah. Any units on the outer perimeter of full block off has been relieved by a PCO 904 17 in Utah.
In the building right next to you?
I'm hearing part of what you said. I'm sorry, because there's a lot of rubber behind me. Can you repeat yourself?
No, I understand. The roof of the UPS facility that you're standing right next to. A few minutes ago, you
Charlie
showed us
13 boy to Charlie 204.
a shot of the roof of the building. You could see
Go ahead.
a couple of individuals standing on the roof.
It appears to be about
On top floor of
70
that building.
to 80 employees at this point.
Are they police officers?
Us a lot. Can you stay with them, and then we'll get you do a quick survey. Are any of them witnesses to this, or are they just present when it occurred?
We'll have to hold them all up.
They pretty much cleared the building. So
All right, you know what? Let's just hold off. Stand by with them for a minute, and I'll get some directions.
As I said, you can saw a large group of them wearing the brown uniforms corralled on the street, and they're actually heading down the roadway down that way right now. So that's what I'm seeing right now. But the people on the roof right now that we showed you, appear to be officers.
All right, Paul Chambers, thank you again. Again, the important news that Paul Chambers brought us, he believes that there are two people's bodies covered by yellow tarps here at the scene. Again, speaking to the severity of the situation, KTVU crime reporter Henry Lee live as well in the neighborhood of what is now an active shooter situation. And
Charlie 113.
That's right. We are now at the corner of 17th and Betrayal here.
Just be advised, we're going to call up on here. There was a witness to this. We have it on the board at 760 South Avenue.
Closer to the crime scene, probably ostensibly get an update on the situation.
910, 535 Missouri, and 20 to Sierra.
Make sure that perhaps any shooter was not hidden among them. We do see ambulances
The
here.
witness wants the battle down in front of 760 South Avenue.
Have a multiple block radius.
Yeah, stand by. I'll get you a unit. Don't dispatch the unit not involved in this. That would just be a waste.
At this point, we do not know exactly who the shooter is, what he or she may have done, any motive for the situation.
535 Missouri at 20 to Sierra.
Chambers just mentioned, active shooter situation at this point. Numerous streets blocked off here along 17th and Potrero for about a multiple block radius.
Now, Henry Lee, I have to mention, like you grew up here in the Bay Area. The three of us back here at the station have as well. What we
Go forward to
many people's thoughts go back to that terrible day.
204 to O'Leary.
20 plus years ago at this point. Talk to us for a minute about the training SFPD
Leanne is reporting for you.
agencies
Home alone with her younger sister. Saying there was a male, he just had the door, claiming that he was there to fix her sliding doors. He described as a black male, about 5'8", heavy set, wearing a black shirt. The 50RP called their parents to double check, and the parents advised that they did not send anyone to fix anything. The RP has locked the door, and the suspect is still 97 at the door. 535 Missouri at 20 this year.
Yeah, John 72. Yeah, we copy this. We're responding from a distance.
So over the last couple of
Sorry,
days,
to
not
copy.
only SFPD, but numerous police agencies throughout the Bay Area have had active
And working on an overflow room.
this kind of scenario. At this point, you can expect multiple SWAT officers, patrol, and other agents, other departments with SFPD trying to corral the shooter, trying to find who this person is. But absolutely, when we have tragedies like 101 California and across the nation, it's an eye-opener, and that certainly encourages police departments, sheriff's offices to redouble their training efforts.
Henry, when you got to the scene, you got to the scene, there was frantic activity. Has that activity seemed to have calmed down, or do you still see the same urgency from the first responders, or has there been a little bit of a calming there?
We are a couple blocks from the scene. When we first got here, we did see a lot of harried-looking UPS workers in their brown uniforms trying to get as much information as we could, and certainly the unusual situation of the UPS workers being frisked by SF police to ensure that there was no threat among them. So certainly that has abated somewhat. In about 10 to 12 minutes, we saw live on our air the group of workers being escorted closer to the scene.
Okay, Henry Lee, let me put you on pause. We're about to go to Paul Chambers, also at the scene. We'll keep these live pictures up before we go to you, Paul. Just into our newsroom here, a statement by UPS. I'll read it to you fresh as I'm looking at it now. UPS.
Yeah, we're heading from the last you said 910 on all of
within the company's facility in San Francisco earlier this morning. Local law enforcement have control of the
sorry about that.
facility. They're conducting an investigation. The company
It was code 4. No matter.
We cannot provide information as to the identity of persons involved
Which
at
one were
this
you
time,
putting up for?
pending the police investigation. So here we have from
910
UPS
on all of?
statement about the active shooter situation that's been unfolding at the UPS building in San Francisco. So you know, we are minutes away from getting a San Francisco police officer, a spokesperson, joining us. All crew there at the scene so we can get the very latest direct from SFPD, piece together and try to make sense of what appears to be a very violent, perhaps a chaotic situation unfolding. We've seen groups of employees led away from the building. We see yellow police tape up. Paul Chambers is there at the scene where you've also...
2205 to Lozada, 200 Lozada.
Yes, Gassi. Now, a few minutes ago, there was a lot more going on. I'm not sure exactly from the vantage point I saw, but I saw a bunch of officers running up the street right here. Now, we're at 17th and San Bruno. I'm not sure exactly where they were going. I was actually walking to figure out where it was when you guys called me back. But I want to let you know, once again, what we have at this scene right now. We have what appears to be yellow car. What it is here. There is yellow.
I'm leaving the scene at 17th and San Bruno of a TASA asking for a run at 760 South Van Ness.
From the area, they were led down
6-4, 760 South Van Ness from 18th to 19th, battle night with Annie, who says she witnessed shooting.
Thank you, 98.
Or just in general, that a shooting happened in the area. Now, there's still a SWAT team, SWAT truck out here. There's a lot of officers. There's a heavy presence in this area. Now, we're trying to figure out exactly
I wasn't at that spot area in the traffic.
It's starting to move. I'm not sure exactly if it's going in or out, but it appears
we didn't have any track of being native.
So the situation is happening. We know that some people have been taken from the area to the hospital. Again, it appears now we have not gotten this confirmed yet, but from what my vantage point is, and from doing this for a while, yellow tarp over things usually means bodies, and it appears from what I can see in this intersection of 17th and San Bruno that there is two possible bodies.
For the 3 John 72?
The SWAT truck looks like it appears to be going away from the scene. It just backed up from the building and headed down.
54, code 4. What's your count code?
To get more information about this. This is a very active scene. We are along 101 South.
Count number 5.
Officers are coming to the area. I want to get a better vantage point of you guys.
Ten more, thanks.
So I can leave you for a second, see if I get some more information. I would appreciate.
Sure, absolutely.
And he is standing right next to 101 in Vermont Street.
Control to 20 Charles. Be advised, the Northside Court is already set up for the overflow.
Most people by now know it's the UPS building, and there is the San Francisco skyline. So Paul Moore,
confirm that it's a maintenance person.
That the area you should avoid should be 17th.
All right, we copy. We're going to reach today.
Within that confine between Utah and San Bruno is the UPS building. You're looking live now at a picture from
floor of the UPS building. He's locked in an office at the procedural center. He and a couple other employees are locked in, he said.
And then that is San Bruno, and then at the top is Utah. This is the area to avoid. On the right is 16th Street, heading up toward Potrero, and this whole area is an area for you to avoid. Right now, police
stay in place, respond to any commands that are given to him, and then headquarters, if you can relay that over 84, that'd be great.
Indicating to us that this is still a very active situation. We saw a live shot view showing that SWAT vehicle on the side of that UPS building, looking like it was positioned, maybe getting somewhere in the proximity of that building, and there's still officers on the roof of that building as well. So this is apparently still very active. Active shooter situation happening between Vermont and Potrero.
And we do know that the San Francisco medical examiner has been called to the scene. We also do know that some patients had been transported to San Francisco General Hospital, which is just about
3 or 4 very
close to this building.
Again, we'll recap this situation here is now entering its second hour. We got news about an hour ago of what was just described as an incident by San Francisco police. We now know that it is, in fact, an active shooter situation with at least 2 people.
Unit 79, taking advice of the street closures and block off from Muni.
Showing us there in the parking lot of this UPS facility, the building here in San Francisco. We know that there's a very heavy police presence. We know that the building itself is on lockdown. We know people
what outside units do you have in the mission?
Let out in groups after they've been searched, and now they're being walked to safety. The streets surrounding this massive building are blocked off. That's why you see no pedestrian or car traffic. And again, here we are about an hour after the initial incident call, and there doesn't seem to be any lessening of the intensity when it looks like
Charlie 54 received a call that on the 3rd floor procedural center that there are employees in there.
They said there's an incident involving employees within the company's
facility. Yeah, 10-4 on 8-4. They're doing a systematic search right now.
That confirmation to us just fewer than 10 minutes ago. They say local law enforcement have control of the facility and are conducting an investigation. The company is cooperating with law enforcement. And Paul Chambers showed us a short time ago a group of about 30 or so UPS employees still in their uniforms being led away or escorted.
Charlie 113 to the units with the witnesses at the firehouse.
Possibly to be questioned or interviewed as part of this investigation, or maybe just to be led away from the danger of the situation that is still underway.
And I know that this is such a big facility that San Francisco firefighters and police officers routinely train to get in and out of this facility. To do that with all large campuses and facilities. In fact, one of my firefighter buddies texted me, said, hey, we were just training inside the UPS building just as late as last week just to get in and out. It's something that they routinely do. So, Lord forbid something like this happens, they're ready to get in and out. They know the building very well, and that's part of their training.
And Sal, this is a building where certainly people work, but does it also serve as customers?
Okay.
Essentially, anybody walk in with a package and have it taken care of?
I'm sorry, someone was talking in my ear, but I will say that this is more of a distribution center. It's not a big, although there is on the ground floor on the right at 16th, you can actually walk in, because I've done it before, you can walk into the building, and there is a UPS center. By and large, this is a big distribution facility for all the UPS drivers. What happens here, Garcia, is bigger trucks come in, unload here, and then the smaller trucks that you see on the streets will leave this building and go to the San Francisco neighborhoods.
Yeah, you can sometimes see it when you track a package. It says package at
this is one of their main facilities. A lot of the big trucks, they come in from. Look at this picture of UPS buildings.
This aerial shot of the 36 or so UPS employees that are, it looks like they're now being led out of the building. It's an aerial view of, I believe, 17th, from 17th Street. Is that what we're looking at?
17th and San Bruno, I believe that's where the building is. As we keep an eye on this group, we're seeing something very familiar that played out maybe just 20 minutes ago. You see here a group of what I assume to be by the uniform UPS employees being led away by the building. Not one of them is holding a briefcase or a bag or a package. When you take that,
I am 97 at 760 South Sandwich Regiment. Call back.
In the course of your work, you're told to leave everything behind, follow the request of police officers, and essentially get out to safety.
When she goes back to you, just buzz her in. Back to the conference room. She's in the black shirt, black polo shirt, just walked in.
Releasing to us the condition of those victims, and we don't know exactly how many. Again, word from San Francisco General, multiple victims from this UPS facility in San Francisco now being treated at the hospital.
So we'll recap what we do know. Again, the news information Ali just brought us. SF General says it is treating multiple victims from the shooting here at the UPS facility in San Francisco. We've also seen, very unfortunately at least, what we believe to be 2 bodies covered by yellow tarps in the parking lot. We don't know exactly how many people have been shot and what their conditions are, especially those at the hospital. We're also working to learn who opened fire. Was it someone who walked in off the street? Was it someone who has business at this building? Is it someone who perhaps works in the building? These are all big, big questions that we're working to get answered. We are expecting to hear from a San Francisco police spokesperson in just the coming minutes, as that person is going to be meeting our camera there at the media staging area. If you are not in this area of San Francisco but thought maybe you had business in this district, the best decision here is not to go. We're talking about 17th and Vermont, 17th and Potrero, Utah, San Bruno. This is affecting 101, which is just a couple of blocks away. The police message is and has been for at least the past hour. For those of you who are here, shelter in place. Lock your doors and windows. Do not go outside. For those of you considering doing business in the area, don't. Please stay away from the area, as clearly it is an unsafe situation. I'd like to bring in my co-worker, Claudia Norman. We've been monitoring the situation here in the newsroom. Certainly, it has been months and months since we've seen this massive of police response.
How do you carry me?
At this point, communication is key. We've seen in former incidents like this, how they coordinate everything that they're doing to make sure, one, that they keep the public safe, because that is the big priority right now. And also doing that, as we've said throughout the morning, it's going through all the employees. It's going through everyone who is possibly in the area, and it's going through it in an organized and clear fashion, especially because this is still an active shooting situation. We want to go back now to Henry Lee, who has been monitoring the situation from the ground. Henry, what do you got?
Okay, so I am...
Hereby, HF will be for debut admissions for their regular run. Any units on regular runs for debut admissions revert to HF.
And confirms that a worker was involved. She just got on the phone.
She'll be advised.
Bear with
No
me.
psychosis.
I'm trying to talk to her off camera about what happened. Ma'am, I'm sorry about what has happened. What do you understand happened according to what your fiance told you?
It was a person that works at UPS, and he just opened fire.
I don't know.
He's in the 4811 Eddie.
Maybe 9 o'clock this morning.
What part of the customer center was this? Was this, in fact, inside?
It was inside the UPS building.
Do you know what part of the building, and did the shooter say anything?
I don't know what part of the building, and I don't know if the shooter said anything. All I know is 2 of his close friends were injured, and 2 of his friends died.
And your fiance is okay at this point?
Yes.
Control, stand by on that phone call. I'm with the wheelchair lift. Call me back in about 3 minutes.
I don't know. My mind's really scattered right now. I'm just hoping and praying for the families that lost lives. And I just want to get my fiance. That's all.
Is there a number to call the RP back? If there is, can you do that?
Whose fiance works inside the UPS customer center in San Francisco. Guys, I'll send it back to you.
Okay, and that brings up a good point. And when you talk about the entirety of the situation there, not only do you have the police officers who are trying to secure the situation, who are trying to find the shooter and trying to figure everything out, you have the workers who are dealing with the trauma of having this happen, as we know, inside their facility, knowing the shooter and the victims. And then you have people like the woman that Henry just talked to, who are outside waiting desperately for information and trying to make sure that they're okay, and hearing whatever information they can coming from out of the facility about people they know, and is everyone they love okay, and what do they do next.
And as you look at this building,
Edward 70.
your live look at from high above Claudine, it's massive. And you're telling how many small offices, how many conference
Last
rooms,
is
how many
GOA
people
10-8,
work
send us
inside. And
1314
I'm just looking at
full.
a comment here from somebody who called into our newsroom to say that
Look forward
they
to
have
244,
someone,
243 7th Avenue of David, one in Trinidad.
and is currently locked in a room on the 4th floor.
Edward 15 Adam, code 4.
Law enforcement is facing here.
Edward
It is
15 Adam, go ahead.
methodical process. It is a
Yeah, I got the RP here. She's saying that it was abated prior and she does not need our help.
Surprised to learn from one of our viewers that there are in fact people essentially locked into their own offices, into their own areas of this building, waiting for
15 Adam, giving code 4 on the 488 at
We've talked
Idiot
about
Bolt.
the training that we've all undergone, and
For the RP, it was abated prior.
in the fastest way. That was a newer kind of development in how we handle active shooter situations, whether they're in the schools or in workplaces, or whether you bar yourself into somewhere safe. So if the shooter is still making their way around the building, you are safe and secure. The difficulty with that, as you're dealing with a building as large as this UPS building in San Francisco, is that it takes time for
Charlie
police to
66.
systematically go through and clear and
Charlie
make sure
66.
that you're okay to get out.
Transporting a witness from 760 South Van to the command post. Starting mileage 0.0.
See it from the freeway. That traffic is still moving. Situation, people actually can see what's going on. Now you've got the problem of the backup.
3 Frank 13 Adam 97, ending mileage 2.5.
See what's going on, but this will take a while when you look
Sorry,
at
is
the
that
size of
3.5
that
or
facility, you look
2.5?
at every single car on that
3.5.
and all
3.5.
that. And then
Copy,
you
10-12.
talk about the general public, people who might be concerned that, you know, my family member, my friend was in that area. I haven't heard from them yet. I want to make sure they're okay.
So again, we're staying on top of this. I'm sure you've noticed we've extended our newscast time. We're going well beyond the 9 to bring you this breaking news that essentially has shut down a neighborhood of San Francisco. The streets here directly involved, 17th Street, Vermont, Utah, Potrero, San Bruno. Of course, your landmark here is this huge UPS building.
B100 audible at 408 Merchant.
Again, this situation started about 1 hour and 15 minutes ago. At first, we just got word that there was a heavy police situation at this building. In the past minutes, we learned that, yes, in fact, there was a shooting, and even SFPD now confirming it is an active shooter situation at this UPS building. Again, we're waiting for a SFPD spokesperson to meet with all the latest. What we don't know here, Claudia,
Make it Leavenworth and McAllister on a California 7, Lincoln Queen Zebra, 842 suspicion alone.
Adam 3 boys, report.
We have also heard of situations where employees hide and keep themselves safe until police are able to come and take the person down.
We just got some information now. We are hearing that 5 people are shot, that the shooter also has been shot. We don't know if the shooter is included in that number, but that is just coming in, that 5 people were shot. The shooter has survived.
All officers on the perimeter,
literally right now. So we know the shooter survived. We know 5 people have been shot. We're not sure if that's 5, including the shooter or not. We also know, unfortunately, though, that we have seen 2 people that may have been killed in this, and we're trying to
Charlie 66, ending mileage with an X at the command post is
sources telling us this very
0.8.
latest information, but if that is all coming in, correctly, then it may be that at least at this point the situation might be resolving to a point that we can at least tell the public that it is safe to be in that area if they have indeed gotten this shooter in custody.
And Claudine, as we're piecing together the information, we've been bringing our viewers live here on the scene. Again, we saw what appears to be 2 people down in the parking lot. Now this massive search of the building itself. So clearly the attacker may have had some contact with these 2 people there in the parking lot, which you see in the very center of the screen. And then inside that massive building, and again, the work of that building is underway, but the newest information we have that 5 people have been shot. The shooter is also shot. We don't yet know if that's a self-inflicted gunshot wound, which we have seen in cases similar to this, but we do know the attacker is still alive. We'll bring in Paul Chambers. We saw him just a moment ago here in the live picture.
One five boy.
Bring us news of what appears to be at least 2 deaths as a result of this shooting unfolding in San Francisco. Paul?
Show you're responding out to the 17th and Utah call at Spec 35.
There appears to be, we were talking about, there's tarp covering what appears to be. We're not confident that yet. We haven't got it confirmed, but it appears to be 2 bodies lying on the street here on 17th Street. We're at the intersection of 17th Street.
3 out of 11 Adam.
Name from potato 9. It's still an active investigation. It is still an active scene, but I will tell you the SWAT team has left the area. There are some officers that appear to be on the top of the roof.
Could you alert them on A4 that they can hear the police, the people that are on the 3rd floor?
Confirm that it is an active, there was an active shooting here. They also said
people on the 3rd floor can hear the unit.
Shot. Now, we also heard that 5 people were shot, and we're not sure if those 5 people include
Charlie 15 boys on that line.
We have 2 other subjects inside.
It's basically been pretty stable since the last 10-15 minutes with officers guarding the area.
Go over control.
Appears to be where the bodies
are. Show me doing a 903
here. Walking along the streets here, talking to people in the community, trying to get some information about what's going on. Of course, we know this has been going on for more than an hour now of this active situation.
3rd Street. Really wanted to check the 90 down that area for her.
There's still officers out here. There's still investigators out here.
4, yeah, Charlie 171. You can send it to
with their gear.
Charlie 171.
Walking along through the yellow tape. So they've been out here throughout the morning, and earlier when we first got here, when we first came on the scene,
David 14 Adam.
about 20 to 30 UPS workers, and I say they're workers because they were wearing the brown uniforms that we all know with UPS. They were marched down San Bruno Street, down to the other area. They were first corralled in one section and then moved further down. But of course, we will stay on top of this and find out some more information as we can find it for you and give it to you here on air or also KTVU.com at any time. But you guys, right now, this is what's going on here behind us.
Okay, Paul, I have a question, though. I know when we're out covering a situation like this, you can almost tell when the tone in the officers and everyone out there has changed. When a shooter comes into custody.
Tokyo car name priority 909 at Robert Kirk Lane and Post.
Are you noticing kind of a change in how the officers are reacting in that area that gives you some indication that this thing might be winding down?
Yes, and that's what I was saying, because earlier when we first got here, it was a pretty active scene.
Penny Central
Officers were basically staying in place, and once they removed the SWAT vehicle from the area, I think that kind of shows that the area is not as active scene as it was earlier. But
at 1106, 1106.
It's not as a much needed and a major response anymore when the SWAT team leaves away from the area.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, Paul, thank you so much. We appreciate that very much.
Right, headquarters Southward Wheeler, David 14 Adam.
As he was saying, you're as a reporter out there on the scene, you're watching kind of the body language.
Please go to the command post 224917 for Charlie 113. 224917.
Where they're like, stay down behind your truck, and
Going 120 to Operation Command.
Danger is still very real.
Actually, go ahead,
very present, and then when it changes,
120.
lower their weapons. They kind of, not they don't lower their guard, but they certainly.
Maybe a couple officers that can respond over to 60 Vermont. Going to set up another crime scene over here.
First of all, according to the Associated Press, UPS is now saying 4 people have been injured
and that's
taken to hospitals in the San Francisco shooting. According to the Associated Press, the shooter was an employee there at UPS.
3 boys, 120.
From SFPD They have tweeted they're conducting a building search. Please continue to avoid the area and shelter in place until SFPD has more information for us. So that shelter in
probably
place,
use
avoid the area.
a couple people. One at 16th and San Bruno, one at 16th Vermont, just direct the pets and the vehicles around this location. Charlie 113 to 120. Is there evidence there, or do we just have to get that ban so we don't have pets walking through? We're just going to preserve the people over here. 10-9, sorry. Is there a perimeter around the vehicle? All right, 10-4.
So that puts together all the pieces that we kind of...
Hey, Ian, you need 2 guys for that? A lot of pets, and there's a bunch of tents right on the sidewalk all up against it.
The shooter was an employee, according to the Associated Press and other reporting agencies. 4 people have been hurt and are at the hospital. We do have those other 2 people that we believe that we heard from the woman who was in the facility that she said 2 of his friends have died. So we are trying to determine the size of that building and how long it takes to go through room by room.
That's threatening to 240 the RP and threatened he was going to kill him.
In custody and under control.
605 Market, press the second and post. Is there a unit back? Adam 5
Scenes unfold again, more people being led out of the building and to safety. We also know there is a bit of a traffic impact because of the multiple street closures in the area. For that, let's go ahead and bring in Sal Castaneda. Sal?
Don't have a description on his
I think we're going to go to Henry Lee, who's down there. Henry, can you talk to any of those folks you're walking by?
They are telling us we were trying to talk to them. We are at the corner of 17th and Potrero. We see one man covering his face.
Where's the boy?
Any thoughts? I'm sorry.
You can just recall 3 out of 15 boys, 1 using route 839, 185 Arkansas 17.
By police from 17th and Potrero, closer to the
Matic
crime scene.
2233
Wearing their
17th
trademark
Street.
brown uniforms. Unclear exactly what
Light
was
plaid
happening.
shirt and
I
pants.
did speak to
And units be advised, he has a 12-inch silver baton on him.
Now undergoing a debriefing, so we see many more.
98 to you for the
three
detail.
dozen more now walking through the corner of 17th Potrero into the yellow crime scene tape. They're being escorted by police. Not many people want to talk at this point. Very understandable based on what has happened this time.
I would imagine they're very traumatized by what happened. They've also, I'm sure, been instructed to not talk as they are trying to put all this together. But, you know, Henry, the number of people walking by you just gives us a really good indication on how large this facility is. Working in there and how systematically that's going.
If you can you get a couple of cases or 3 cases of water to the street side for a guy, please?
Checked as they went through. I mean, that process, the number of people hasn't stopped coming by you.
Yeah, absolutely. We see many people, as you know, UPS tracks their packages very carefully. You can bet that they will want to make sure that any and all of their employees are accounted for, and there's probably going to be a head count if that's not already been done. But again, maybe total 4 or 5 dozen additional UPS employees being escorted by police into the scene past the yellow crime scene tape.
Looks like we may have lost Henry's signal for a moment. We actually want to move on as well. We'll bring Henry back to you just as soon as we can. We'll stay on one moment for these pictures here. We see more UPS employees being led out of the building. I saw one gentleman Claudine with a cell phone in his hands. I'm assuming he is texting his loved ones. Let's talk about, again, the traffic impact in this neighborhood. Sal, you've been watching it. Tell us what's happening on 17th in Utah and San Bruno and beyond.
Back to the traffic center, got an update from Muni, and 9R, 22, 33, and 55 are all affected by rerouting because of this incident. Also, CHP has now closed northbound 101 in Vermont. Remember earlier I said that's the area you want to avoid. That would essentially put you right in the middle of the command post, which is at 17th and Utah. That's where the police command post is. Remember, 17th is closed between Vermont and Potrero all the way through the shooting area, which is the UPS building. The UPS building is on 17th Street between San Bruno and Utah, and that's the area that we're looking at now. You see UPS drivers there. 101 southbound and northbound is also taking a beating here, as you can see the UPS building from our 101 camera. Southbound traffic is slow. I think that people are aware of what's going on, and they can kind of see down onto the street there and northbound 101. You can see the police activity as you pull up on the UPS building, and that is having a big impact on the traffic. I would advise you at this point to use 280 to get around and don't use 101. This might also have an impact on you getting off the Bay Bridge westbound onto southbound 101. And again, several street closures there, as you can see, because of this incident, not going away anytime soon.
But certainly, Sal, as we've been reporting now, we're learning that the attacker, him or herself, has been injured. We talked about the possibility of CHP closing down 101. It seems as though the situation has de-escalated just one tiny tick. So perhaps it doesn't look like a reality that 101 will be shut down after all.
Charlie 171 to headquarters.
I'm listening to radio traffic. One of the things that I heard when I got here was that they had a suspect.
Yeah, so we were able to make contact with Cassandra. She did express any thoughts of threat to suicide. She stated she was fine, and she just wanted everyone to leave her alone. Then she hung up the phone.
So you can see everything that's going on, and naturally, 101 is going to be slow because people are curious to see all this police activity there.
Yeah, and I think for anyone who's thinking I was going to that area, they're going to need to know that even when this resolves, there's going to be a lot of activity around there for a long time to come. If you just look at the sheer number of employees that they're trying to move from one place to the next and to get them through this investigation, they've got to talk to everybody.
OCP, I need 6 officers over to the OCP, please.
Still going through the building just to make sure everything's secure. They may think they're pretty sure that there is one shooter, but they're going to make sure, and that takes time. So all this police activity, even if this is resolved, will be out there for a long time.
It sure will. And again, the best way for you, you're watching at home, to say, my goodness, I need to go into downtown San Francisco. Best advice is not to use northbound 101. And if you're getting off the Bay Bridge, get off the Bay Bridge Skyway as soon as you can. Try not to go through the 101-80 interchange because there is a lot of slow traffic in the area.
So is this going to put more people along perhaps the Embarcadero than might usually be there at this time? Or what city streets on the other side of 101 might be taking the brunt of those people who can't exit to get to this neighborhood?
Well, 280 is open, so they had to, before they knew what they had, Gosia, CHP was talking about closing 280 as well, the 280 ramps. 280 is completely open, and the car traffic is probably going to get off at 6.
Hour 76.
They're going to be on, as you said, the King Street, which leads to the Embarcadero. So people who are avoiding 101 will be on the 280.
Yeah, show me riding with the Air 77 for a little bit until my partner gets back from the Bayview. We'll use the 77 call sign. And can you put us on a 903 at 1050 McAllister?
As all that jam traffic has to go somewhere, and it's going to start piling up on those city streets leading to that freeway.
You're looking at that slowdown. When we saw it earlier, just about 45 minutes ago, we were saying, oh, look, it looks like it's moving okay, and it's because it's a little lower down. But as we know, people are on their phones, they're listening to on the radio, they are leaving their house after they know it's already happening. That's really all it takes. And the impact can also last a very long time.
And I will say, now that I got back,
can you come out of the Miyok?
Sitting next to my police radios, I have noticed, you asked Henry this, I have noticed a de-escalation in tone of the way that officers are talking to each other. So they're still there on the scene, but when we first started listening in, they were talking to each other, and now it's...
The command post is at 17 that you tell them to live in the casket there. I know they got a phone number in here.
And we still see some police officers.
Yeah, that's GOA 10-8. Send us Willow Bolt.
At the ready. And again, this could simply be because as they're going through that very large facility, until they clear everything, they're not going to take any chances. But you can see them taking a position there at the parking structure.
Certainly concentrated. This reminds me a little bit, Claudine, of another breaking news situation we covered maybe 6 months ago.
97 on the 11:45 mark.
And then we saw live pictures very similar to this of law enforcement agents in the parking lot, essentially going from car to car. Because think about it, if I'm a bad guy or a bad girl, I could be hiding in an office.
So there's something, you know, we're talking, go ahead.
Left something in a vehicle prior to my getting out and carrying out my bag.
Point 250, can I get a CAD number for the Giants game, please?
A little bit to the live picture that we're bringing you here.
And while witnesses will say,
boys, 250 the cab for the critical incident is going to be 171 650 871 650 871.
I need one for the Giants game. The Giants Royal game. I'm going to be 10-7 here.
As well. We want to go down to Henry for the very latest information. Henry, what are you hearing?
Well, guys, here at the corner of 17th.
Okay, just put you on the view, 000 for the Giants game. And the account's going to be 171-651-140. 651-140.
As a precaution by the San Francisco police, they are trying to get word on what has happened as they were allowed to enter the yellow perimeter here at 17th and Potrero. We did ask a number of them if they wanted to comment, and they did not want to. We do see, again, many workers in their traditional brown uniforms being frisked as we speak by San Francisco police near the 76 gas station at 17th and Potrero. Again, as we've mentioned earlier, they do want to make sure that
850-5144, 850-5144.
The suspected shooter was himself shot, is alive at a hospital, but they want, as a precaution, to make sure that there are no other threats out there, so they don't want to have anyone perhaps masquerading in or as a UPS worker in their brown uniform. Again, they are frisking about some of the 3 dozen workers here at the corner of 17th and Potrero. And a few minutes ago, I did talk to a man off camera, confirmed that he heard about 6 earlier this morning.
And Henry, the person you talked to who said he heard 6 shots, was he inside the building? Is that counting what happened outside in the parking lot, or is that strictly inside the UPS building?
He says he was on San Bruno Avenue, the address of the UPS building. He was not inside, but he was in the area when he says he heard 6 gunshots.
Okay. And do we know anything more about how we know the shooter is in custody and how that might have all transpired, Henry?
Now, at this point, I think if I'm correct, we're awaiting more additional details from San Francisco police. I believe Tara is there at the corner, but we are still trying to get as much information as we can as far as what happened, any possible motive, condition of the victims, and the shooter at this point.
Okay. Henry Lee, we'll put you on pause again. The minute you have new information, you can bring it to us. We'd like to stay on these 2 live pictures. There is some significant activity. We see a number of police on the very top of the parking garage portion of that building. I'm going to do a quick reset for you in case perhaps you're just joining us. Clearly, we've extended our news coverage to this breaking news affecting a neighborhood in San Francisco.
OCG be advised, a sheriff will be bringing a human resource person from UPS with a list of personnel to 223317.
There in San Francisco, UPS says the shooter was in fact an employee. A spokesman for the agency said that he believed the shooter turned the gun on himself, but no additional information when it comes to that. The 4 victims we believe
John 139 with the DOC. I have all those close like you involved.
To find out their conditions. We also know that our own have brought us distressing images of down in a parking lot outside the building. The situation
go 832-8486.
About 1.5 hours into it, Claudine, and that methodical search of the building, even though it appears the attacker, or should I say an attacker, has been captured, is injured. We have been speaking to the fact we don't know who else or what else might be in that building that could pose a threat. Okay, and we should tell you, too, there are multiple situations going on right now. What you're taking a look at right now is kind of a wide look at the roof of this UPS building. I think we might want to keep it just kind of a broad look right now because we have seen a lot of activity on that roof with police, guns drawn. We certainly don't want to give away anything that might at all compromise what they're trying to get done safely up there. But look at that building and you can understand how many different facets of this investigation are underway. You've got the people at the hospital. You've got the shooter at the hospital in custody. You have the workers evacuated from that building, and they are systematically talked to, checked, and then brought to another location. And then you have this continual search ongoing right now. We believe at this point, we've been told at this point that the shooter is in custody. We don't know if that shooter is working alone. We don't know if anyone else is involved. We don't know how many people are still in that facility. Gussie, you were talking earlier about someone who said that they were in a room locked in for safety. They're going to wait until they're confirmed that can respond on this 8x19 before they come out, and that is a big building. So all of this is going to take.
We have 445, and there were 97, and then the 3 out of 1, 5 out of 1.
And until that happens, there would be multiple teams of people
Charlie
working
300 on
in different
810.
areas trying to get that accomplished.
San Francisco
Charlie
police have yet to
300
tell us from their viewpoint how many
I've been asked to manage the post evasion information, so can I start with a 100 unit? Do I have a 109 to cover the base of this?
Contained the incident and building is secure. The special ops team continues to search the building for additional victims and
Number 1408
witnesses.
between Willie Mays Plaza and 4th Street. RP has a call like a DV going on inside the apartment.
The threat itself
Call come in at 9:27 hours. We try to get him to open up the door, but the ex is refusing to open the door. They also want to sound like he was quiet, and security's going to be standing by to direct.
What exactly happened? Who was this person? Did he or she give
District, I know we got it covered. I'm on a 902. Out of the 11 happens to break. And I can handle district operations. They're all close to board now.
Was it in response to something else? So we are, of course, staying on top of the situation. I'll also mention a tweet I'm seeing just below SFPD's latest bulletin.
Charlie 300, do I have the sergeant covering the mission at this point?
Scott Wheeler, who, of course, used to be a San Francisco city supervisor, tweeting, praying for the shooting victims of the UPS facility in San Francisco. Then Wiener goes on to say, way too many shootings in this country. It's depressing. And, of course, Claudine, you were here earlier in the early mornings hours of Morning Zone 2.
We have outside units covering the mission headquarters.
That happened in Alexandria, Virginia. A gunman there targeting a group of Republican lawmakers at an early morning baseball practice. Then this situation started unfolding at 9 o'clock.
I can go over to Channel 6 and try to get somebody to go on this run for now.
Such a difficult morning, and the difficulty
All right,
is in separating each
do I have any
person
outside
and trying
units?
to figure out where they all live and breathe in terms of how we need to look at them. And those are two concerns that we're just kind of continuing to watch. Again, we go back to San Francisco, and as we take a look at what's happening on the ground, it's on the ground, it's on the roof, it's in the building, it's at the hospital, and we are seeing some folks now on the roof of the building. I don't know if we can take that shot. You can see
there units that can try to
they're
respond.
walking.
There's a female down, hit by vehicle, 17th and Church.
From one place to the next, they've got their hands on their head so that any police officer, because there's police officers throughout those cars, throughout that roof, knows that these people are walking to safety, and they are told to do this as they are clearing out.
Charlie 300,
trying to get a response on 5 or 6. And that's what the San Francisco Police just confirmed they're doing.
7 or 8 as well.
Getting as many witnesses and victims and employees to safety, and they've got to do that in a very systematic and methodical way, protecting them, making sure no one is a threat.
On the ramp.
They're going to get them to safety, and then they're going to try to figure all of this out.
And what's interesting, Claudine, in this group, if you will, of workers, these appear to be non-delivery drivers. These are people dressed like you and me. They work in the offices. They're not out on the streets.
The 909 is Robert, Kirk Lane, and Post.
They're not wearing that brown uniform that so many of us associate with UPS. You mentioned that we've seen this in other similar active shooter situations. We talked about the one that happened in the airport in Florida in the past year. This is also something that brings to mind shootings, and it is heartbreaking when you see anyone to go through this sort of immediate evacuation, leave everything behind, walk out with your hands up.
So Dwayne's here. So some of the other housing guys are here. I'm sending them out. I got to do this female prisoner transport. But don't worry, I got the distance.
To the training and the research and the thought
we're right on. Thank you.
law enforcement agencies, not just SFPD, have put into responding to situations like this.
I think it also, unfortunately, speaks to our familiarity with it, that I would imagine that people going through it now...
Yeah, I don't think we have anybody available to Utah right now.
To be the victim
Is that what unit? Charlie 14 Edward, we're at 60
Utah. Gunpoint and then being frisked and checked for weapons yourself.
Sorry, you got steps on 10 out again? Charlie 14 Edwards at 16th in Utah.
As well, that everyone else is following the same procedure, and that everyone
David 73 also.
These are, in this case, from what we're hearing from the sources, that this was an employee involved in it. This was someone.
And Charlie 14 Adam, we're at 15th of Vermont.
Depending on where they work in this building, unless they just randomly happened to be there that day. These are people they know.
27 and 29, copy 17th and Church, 4-8 en route.
When all of this happens, which is so hard to wrap your mind around, you
law
enforcement who shows up to make sure.
Possible looking at 904 with a radio car that has the crime scene tape at Vermont and 16th.
Sit tight, stay put. You can see them now as they've already gone through the walking out with their hands above their head. They were checked for weapons. Now they're just sitting calmly behind a wall, in their lab, safely waiting for
Adam 55 Ida and 5 Adam 55.
Is go see their friends and family. Give everyone who's been worried
Sorry,
about
5 Adam 51 Ida and 5 Adam 52 Ida.
To do it in the way that keeps them safe. What a terrible morning it has been for them and for everyone in that building, and so difficult. And I'm sure the stress has been just unimaginable. And it'll be a long day yet to come.
Over Gonzalez.
The reality of the situation.
I need you to grab some of your sorry on 9th and meet me at 17th and San Bruno.
UPS employee who opened fire inside this facility in San Francisco. I think
Mary 109 to David 200.
Being so methodical and meticulous, searching every car, searching every.
Hey, I'm coming from the hall. What's the easiest way to get to 17th and San Bruno?
The building. How many times has this person had access to the building?
Hey, Manny, come up to 17th in Utah. You go ahead and take for Charles.
Again, my mind goes back
Thank you very much.
to the picture that we showed of what appeared to be two bodies down on the ground, covered by tarps in the parking area of the structure. And so someone who may have been working there for days, months, or years, we don't know. Police are still being very, very thorough in their searching.
Fort Tom unit, give them a second. They're opening up right now.
Behind the attack this morning,
Copy,
the
thanks,
rest
Tony.
of the building was untouched. That's what police are working to confirm.
And we see this picture right now on the right side of your screen. You've been waiting for San Francisco police to make a statement. We believe
Ida
they
13
are
Adam
walking
585.
out there right now, and you can see it.
Just real quick, you guys can see we have SFPD, fire, and we
Yeah,
have HQ on scene. I don't have any further information.
45th and Irving, California 6 George, Paul Nora 523. One aboard sufficient, we'll get our own. It's a Toyota Highlander, green.
Northbound 101 at Vermont.
The OCP, if you can relay to them, first 10 people from the rooftop have been escorted out.
And so we just ask that for media only, you can call 415-558-2712 regarding this incident. Okay. 558-2712.
3 David 6 Adam.
Well, it was brief, but to the point.
Yes.
We're still working to find information about the situation unfolding at the building itself, but again,
Adam.
we have some
Yeah,
news
3 Adam, show me 7A and company D for the time being.
been closed by the CHP. If
Copy.
you can pull up that traffic camera, and I know Sal Castaneda is in his traffic center monitoring the situation. We'll try to bring you that picture in just a moment. First here, we're going to hear from a San Franciscan.
Yes, we have Supervisor Scott Wiener on the phone right now. Can you hear us?
Yes.
So I know that you've been tweeting about this, and really just a heartbreaking scene out there, and really your thoughts this morning.
What channel is the OCP on for this incident?
We just walk in and start shooting people, and it's a reminder that it can happen anywhere. We have to be vigilant. And it's also a reminder that
Charlie 113 to Charlie 14 Edward.
society, even in San Francisco,
Go ahead.
and we just need to
Did you guys say you're 16th in Utah?
And that's really the heart of the problem.
We're at 16th in Utah.
It's a terrible situation, and my thoughts and prayers are with the people who were shot.
And you are, a former
Yeah, let me check on my
supervisor
just one.
in San Francisco State Center now, and when you talk about this
State
is your
Governor
city,
Postal
and
is
this happened,
northbound
have you
18
been able
from
to get
Utah,
any more
command post
information? Are you
24917.
is your role just to kind of,
Tactical command post is at 2100 block of
continue to
17th Street under the freeway.
We're trying to get.
And do they have a channel?
Obviously, just happened, and they're trying to.
The last thing that was on A4. They're still on A4.
Give law enforcement space to do their job, but we'll definitely be in touch, and at this point, just trying to really provide support for the community.
Senator Wiener, I know that we talked to you live in the days after the Pulse nightclub shooting in Orlando, and we recently marked 1 year since that shooting on the other side of the country. That the violence is happening here in your city, certainly not to the extent when it comes to numbers of what we saw at the Pulse nightclub shooting, but that it's happening here in your city. As a lawmaker, as a state senator now, what action does this spur you to take?
We did
Frank 11, Dwight, 10-4.
1 year anniversary of the Pulse nightclub massacre on Monday, where a gunman walked into an LGBT nightclub and methodically murdered 49 people.
Yeah, the loss was advised for Lieutenant Easton Willem Polk.
That situation, that tragedy, obviously there was homophobia involved in violence towards LGBT people, but it also shows you how easy it is for people to get guns and people who have problems.
For northern units in the area of Bush and Webster for a 580
country are
delivering lots of lumber traffic at that location. Again, this is an hour and a half ago.
But we have more work to do. Having someone who just walks into a facility and starts shooting people, that is terrifying.
Information for central units in the area of 710 Erie, North and High for 917. Rising high off of Paint Cube, sending a canister, 40s, dirty white jacket. I know it's informational.
Messages, but yet actions really haven't happened.
Well, in California, we have
had to Charlie 11 Edwards side, Fowler.
Control, including the voters adopted strict gun control measures last November. But this is a national issue, and in California, we can't seal off our borders. We are integrated into the country, and so what we're doing locally and at a state level here in California, we rely on the federal government to do its job. And right now, Congress has been for a long time just completely paralyzed. The fact that Congress could not get it together.
Robert 83, second and King, checking in with Christina.
After Stanley
Copy, thank you.
Children were massacred at school. It's despicable, and Congress needs to get it together and make this country a safer place.
But following up on that, I mean, you'll hear people after an incident. Well, they'll say, you're politicizing this. It is not the guns, it's the people who are gathering them. I know in California we've changed the types of guns that people can get.
Charlie 171 headquarters.
Like that. Given that this debate is so contentious.
Clear from our lab. You show me transporting 1X starting mileage 873 to CJ.
Where do you think the likely changes are going to be
you're at company
outside, within the state and outside?
Yes.
When you talk about a mass shooting, a person cannot do that without having access to a gun. And in this country, we give people access to guns, who rapid-fire guns, whose only purpose is to kill people. We allow people to own their guns. Yes, we have to have better mental health systems, better ways of addressing people who are really disturbed and prone to violence. But one of the best things we can do is to make sure that these people do not have access to guns.
Anyone advise what the TVP location is?
A large number of people. And until we address that, we're going to continue to have
in front of cars at 8th and Howard,
San Bernardino's, and UPS centers.
Okay.
White female under 40, about just over 5 feet, wearing a black vest, dark down shoulder length hair with some flip-flops. 835, running in front of cars.
And we want to take you back out to the situation that was...
David Jordan, I need one mission unit to get out of for me at 17th in Utah. One mission unit.
Injured. The shooter was also shot and is in custody, but is alive.
What would be the likelihood of opening up a digital channel, maybe A9, just so we can have like a pick in a little bit?
Told us just a few minutes ago that they're not ready to talk, but they have all the officials between San Francisco Police and Fire all on scene, and they are gathering to try to figure out.
Yes, because I feel like A3 and A4 is going to be tied up for quite a while.
One call center, that has been a problem. The on-ramp to northbound 101 is still closed at Vermont Street, and there is still a lot of activity on the scene.
And we're coming up now, Claudine, on 2 hours since the incident began, just past 9 o'clock this morning. Our crime reporter Henry Lee
Southern 1 and A priority 418 at 723 days.
People have been evacuated. What do you have, Henry?
Buchanan and Webster.
That's right. I am talking to Maria here. Maria, I understand your daughter works at UPS and she's okay, but tell me what you understand happened based on what she may have told you.
I only talked to her very briefly, and she said she was...
7 copies. This RP is not 97. She received a call.
Someone just
her mom says
didn't know what was going on.
Sisters are in a physical inside of the house.
She said this, did she see the shooter, the man with the person with the gun?
She didn't tell me she's seen the shooter or not. She just told me there was people down or something.
300 at this point. don't have the staffing for it.
All right, not a problem at all. We're just maintaining
It happens in so many places that, you know, when it happens so close to home, it's like, you know, awakening of
36,
what could happen to anyone.
49, 18, and 26 responding from
Any
Mission
family,
Station.
any parent, this is probably the worst time
Copy.
for anyone.
You know if your daughter knows the person with the gun?
She did not. We
And
did
I'm
not
crying
talk to
and screaming with her pants down.
And how long has she worked here, Marie?
2 years.
And she said that no issues about problems with people at the workplace.
Not that I know of, you know, at all.
So we just talked to a woman whose daughter works at UPS
I'll go over to
Customer Service
AA.
Center here, rapidly evolving situation. We're still awaiting information on what exactly happened, but we've talked to many people who are waiting outside the Constitution, waiting for confirmation that the loved ones are okay. But for the most part, the people we've talked to are rest assured that so far the ones they know.
3 Henry 27, 29, and 16 Adams. You guys refer to 810 for the 519, 27, 29, and 16 Adams. 810.
Stan Kephart, a former Arizona police chief, now a law enforcement consultant. Thanks for joining us, Stan. Are you with us?
I am. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. What's your read on the situation here?
Well, as any active shooter
West End by the elevator.
Calls for a unifying command approach using the systems and resources that are available for these kinds of circumstances. And I'm sure that there's been a command post set up and they're using
Henry 27, 29. Got about 2 more blocks, but we'll handle the report.
This active shooter.
What are the challenges? I mean, we're talking about a very big facility here, and they say the shooter has been injured and is alive.
I just need one of you, whoever it is, to go back to Tucson to relieve another unit section BS drop.
We're assuming, you know, at this point, you think it's one.
10-4-16, any Utah?
17 to Utah, just one person.
And if that shooter is still mobile, he presents a clear and present danger to other people in the
windows, no one plates.
And this is exactly why you need to
Right, so we're making
the full resources that are at the disposal of the San Francisco Police Department through an incident command system. There are a lot of things that impact this. Traffic, even people getting people out of that, establishing a proper perimeter so that they can control and relieve people and bring systems to bear to solve the problem with the least amount of injury possible.
Stan, a minute ago we brought our viewers live pictures here of a number of officers
Claire,
in the parking area. They seemed to, we saw them advance, we saw them pull back. It looked a little bit more intense than what we'd been seeing on city streets, even though we understand the shooter is injured by gunfire and is essentially no longer a threat, him or herself. Is the unknown the threat that police are now facing?
That's exactly right. The first responders to this scene have a responsibility to establish a perimeter, to secure that perimeter, and then to assess the circumstances and to transfer that information to the command post, to an incident command system post, which is mobile. It's going to be set up at that location or proximate to it. And then from that point on, the resources that are needed by the command
Charlie 113 to Gonzales.
Through that incident command system. This unification, I'm bringing to bear police, fire, emergency medical services, and a multitude of different resources gives the best likelihood to...
Was there traffic for Gonzales?
Stan, do you think, you talked about the unified command.
Yeah, can you guys back up to where you were on San Bruno? I got someone to do the 16th in Utah detail.
Unfortunately, like deja vu. We have been here before with workplace shootings. We've been here before with school shootings. We have been here at airports.
Show me as a SAM unit. Show me right with a 3 Adam till further.
Community of responding to these. Have we learned?
Is there anything hanging in the 1 or 3 car?
So that our responses.
Affirmative. There is actually a V priority 594 at Pier 45. 601. I'm sorry. Same thing. 10 parts. And I'm going to be using 3 out of 3 voice call signs for this, okay?
It's going to be 3 out of 3 Adam.
Copy. Out of 3 out of use his call sign.
Regrettably, the number of these incidents each time we mobilize and put in place an incident command system.
We're trying to get a bus out of the area from 16th and Taharo up to Potrero. Can any radio car let me know if that street's blocked off to Potrero, 16th going west?
So yes, we are. We are ensuring as best possible public safety. The night we would have one or two of these incidents go off simultaneously. And then report this.
Henry 29, code 4.
Stan, sorry to interrupt. Besides the changes in communication, because obviously that's
we're gonna
a very big deal. And
we're making it hour 9 right now. Looks like more cyclists.
What do you think the other big changes have been?
Get a track and get it. It's getting medical aid right now.
It's time to get out. Now, they're being told if you have an exit, get away because these shooters are going methodically to classrooms and
15's open now.
Offices and those kind of things have changed.
15th Street is open.
On how to deal with the situation.
Headquarters is at 16.
Maybe 200.
15 is open.
We all respond.
Well,
okay, I need to know about 16.
There's flight or fight.
Waiting for confirmation from the 4 boys, but apparently it's not for other units.
If people are peripheral to that target zone
open and
blocked, escape, by all means do so.
Okay, is it going to be possible to let a Muni car come through?
However, that's not always possible in a circumstance with closed doors inside.
913 for your mission.
Knowing the location of the shooter and where that location is renders the best possible opportunity for those who are not directly involved to get away, to get outside of the facility. That establishes a problem for law enforcement in...
Can I get 2 units mission? Anybody available that's not doing anything on this 904 me in front of the Temple Church on 17?
On top of their head and hands up.
Davidson requesting 2 units 904 into the Temple Church on 17.
Intermingle with the people that are fleeing.
I still have midnight units here from Baby that need to be relieved quick.
All right, Stan Caphart, thank you so much for joining us and bringing your many years of expertise to the situation that we are monitoring here in San Francisco.
14 Charlie, you can respond to the copy of your unit.
To enter more than 2 hours since we originally got the call about police responding to what was believed to be a shooting.
Sending calls, so everybody 910 pending 155 to 100 eligible 11 minutes.
The shooter, the attacker, him or herself, and I say that
we
have no identity at all on the attacker other than to learn that that person is in fact an employee at UPS.
Turning 11 slowly.
Turning 11 no longer a threat to others. Again, this incident unfolded just after 9 o'clock. Some of the scenes that Mr. Caphart was describing, we've seen play out here live on the air. People being led out of that massive UPS facility.
Slide the door open a bit, but the elevator has not come all the way down.
And just, typical clothes you'd wear to the office on,
Copy that. The engineers are being advised right now. Engineers are en route.
And of course, we've decided to extend our coverage ever since mornings on 2 to bring you the situation that has essentially put on lockdown a neighborhood in San Francisco around 17th and San Bruno. That's where the UPS building is. Utah is also affected. A number of other streets. When we talk about the big street, northbound 101 and Vermont has been closed.
Maybe they stayed there. Utah and Mariposa, they'll get updates from there.
SFPD is tweeting out that the incident has been contained. The building itself is secure, but as we can see in this live picture, a number of officers on a vehicle here. There is still a very active and thorough search of the building and surrounding vehicles. Unfortunately, we have seen the bodies of 2 people covered by yellow tarp outside the parking lot. We understand UPS is saying that 4 people are involved. We're working to get an exact read on those who have been taken to the hospital and are being treated right now. So at this point, it does appear that there are kind of multiple things happening in and around the area. We just saw, you can see this vehicle getting up and moving. We don't think they're going a far distance because, of course, you have the officers there on the back, but we saw them loading some stuff up. You can still see people on the roof of the building.
We get a 408, a 54 calling. There's an Asian male, about 55. There's a shoulder sore.
We can tell you that, from covering these situations in the past, we've got this very large building. We've got a lot of the areas around.
Yeah, it's 40 or 41.
We have them saying, look, this scene is
40
so we see them kind of as they clear.
Hey, what's up, Nico? You're working with Mike Koff, COSS. I told him to come up on B6 when he gets on site.
Parking lot that you're looking at the very top of that building.
Copy, I'm coming 97.
Police officers, it is no longer now. You can see you've got.
This is Koss. I'm on the side gate for the entrance, so I'm already here. I'm 97.
As they try to piece all of this together, as Garcia said, the numbers that we are hearing.
10-4, Nico, when you find each other, do me a favor, just work scalpers for the first hour and a half, and then vendors afterwards.
45 minutes or so, half an hour, and so that tells us that things are starting to settle down.
Nico, I'm on 30 King right now, so just let you know.
Time ago and said we don't have anything yet, but we're working on it. That too is a good sign. I can tell you as a reporter on the field, if they even have the time to come over.
My location's at 3rd and King.
That means that now they're just kind of trying to corral resources, trying to make sure they have kind of all ducks in a row before they come out.
170-484-508-484-508.
We see California Governor Jerry Brown weighing in not only
thank you.
unfolding here at home in San Francisco, but also the shooting we talked about earlier in Alexandria, Virginia, where Republicans.
09 is Jerry Watkins, 43 WMA, non-colored shirt, dark blue shorts. Permit 0900 hours, high risk, 801 in Citrus, 801 in 10. Take psych meds with them.
Speaks to how difficult of a morning it's been. When we walked in, we were like, wow, this happened in Alexandria. So hard to wrap your mind around, and then this happens in San Francisco, and we are still seeing us coming out of this and trying to find resolution. We've got Paul Chambers on the scene. He has been monitoring this really over trying to see how the situation has continued to change. Paul, what are you seeing now?
426 right there. Eva vibes. They're coming.
Officers out here with the K9. Now, the K9's been smelling the cars. Basically, they've had them looking at all these cars that are roped off in this area, checking to see, I guess, if there's any possible substance that may be around this vehicle. That's what they're checking for in this area.
So I got a 410.
Stop by. Nobody's coming up there.
Trying to check and talk to people in this area. So the officers are continuing their investigation beyond the building, and a little bit further down you can see there are some UPS trucks out here. So we believe that that's where some of the workers may have been dropping off their vehicles, maybe going into the building, or maybe picking up their vehicle before heading out. Now, once again, the officers have been working this area on this side. We do know that the shooter has been shot, has been taken to the hospital. So that part of the threat is over, but of course, as we know, the investigation is ongoing. It will be a long, detailed investigation.
What channel they work in the incident on?
Officers are scouring in this area all around the building. Now, earlier today, we did see a bunch of UPS drivers being walked out down this area. They were later checked out. I will also tell you, up where they were,
Control to any available patrol deputy. Can I get you to the Juliet step personal car control, please?
We saw the brown uniforms. They were all in a backyard sitting at a table talking, and I can't tell if that was probably someone's home, probably the first place they were evacuated to. I'm not sure if they're still in that area. And again, we also know that earlier we found out on the street up here behind us on 17th and San Bruno, we saw yellow tarp, which appears to be covering possibly 2 bodies. We're still trying to get that confirmed. We do know at least 4 people were taken to the hospital with injuries. But back out here, what I can tell you once again is that the officers are continuing their investigation outside the UPS building.
Confirm where to send Red Cross and Salvation Army.
Cars, they're checking out the homeless encampments, they're checking out tents.
4 boys are asking where to send, just to confirm where to send the Red Cross and Salvation Army.
Evidence they can gather.
Understand?
David Torner, thank you for respond to 500 San Bruno Avenue. 500 San Bruno between 18th and 17th.
We're going to stay on top of this. KTVU crime reporter Henry Lee at the scene, learning more from officers there, Claudine.
Before we go to you, Henry, I want to tell you that the Associated Press just sent out information from the spokesperson of UPS telling the Associated Press that the employee fired inside the facility before the drivers were sent out to do their normal daily deliveries, and that same spokesperson said 4 people were injured, and that he turned the gun on himself. Tell me what you're hearing from down on the ground there.
We have been talking to relatives of people who work inside the building. At this point, I do want to say that we have seen a lot of increase in police activity just within the last few minutes, even after SFPD put out the tweet saying the situation had been contained. We have seen the arrival of SWAT officers with their long guns and bags and their headsets, their operational headsets already on their heads. So we do not know if that is just as a precaution, if they're doing
David 170.
just to clear the locations, but according to
Sergeant Ross is coordinating for video units from the baby unit.
loved ones, they do understand, just as what we've been reporting, that this
All right, 10-4.
open fire inside the building. Now, we spoke to a woman earlier today who says her fiance is okay, but works inside the UPS building. Here's what she had to say.
It was a person that works at UPS, and he just opened fire. I don't know if it was sometime at maybe 9 o'clock this morning.
And what part of the customer center was this? Was this, in fact, inside?
Channel 7 clear.
The UPS building.
You know, what part of the building, and did the shooter say anything?
I don't know what part of the building, and I don't know if the shooter said anything. All I know is two of his close friends were...
5 King 36 on event 1.
And your fiance is okay at this point?
Yes, he is okay.
And what goes through your mind that this happened here at this customer center where your fiance works?
I don't know. My
Center
mind's
1
really
for
scattered
RV
right now. I'm just hoping and praying for the families that lost lives. And I just want to get my fiance. That's all.
We're inside.
Police chaplain, 97, where would you like me to send them?
Debriefing at this point. And I cannot hear you at this point, but again, we have seen an increase in police activity even after assertions by police that the situation is contained, possibly just to make sure that there's no additional suspects and to clear the way for any additional threats. Back to you.
I'll go Bevan Team San Bruno by the command van. There's a blue awning. Come over here.
Information from the street where Ken Claudine, we just heard that woman clearly.
San Bruno and Western Cross Street.
Until you have that loved one in your
1-7.
arms, yes, that peace of mind doesn't come to you. It's interesting.
All right, copy.
As you were bringing us some life pictures.
Sorry, Jared. 17. 5 Ocean 200 to Sergeant Frost.
Smartphones in hand, no doubt, texting
Go ahead.
and saying, giving the I'm okay text.
Can I 901 you?
That's actually something that you're advised not to do. And here we see here.
Jared 17 Utah.
This is video taken just a few minutes ago.
Got
We see people walking out either with their hands at their sides. Earlier, right out of the building, we saw many of them
There's
with hands on one
probably going to call the fire department along with the elevator company concerning this elevator.
Cell phones and purses, etc., behind
Careful.
minutes of the emergency, and after it happens, here we are. We see one coworker putting his arm around the other. That's sort of comforting and consoling.
Adam 70, Adam. Copy, I need to visit.
And let's paint the picture of that morning as you can only imagine. It's a normal day of work. It's a Wednesday. They're showing up for work. It's 9 o'clock. UPS confirming as before the drivers were supposed to go out to their daily deliveries. So they're inside this large facility doing what they normally do when the shooter, who is apparently an employee,
5 Ocean 200 to David 200.
And started firing. 4 people we know were injured, and then the UPS spokesperson.
Mission 3 priority 918 at 23rd and Folsom. RP heard a female scream loudly from inside of an unknown building in the area.
You have that situation unfolding. We have a witness who also told the AP that he heard 5 people.
120.
We've had witnesses telling our own crews.
Send me that 920 at 101 Montgomery. I'm 97.
Adam
120,
I'll
back you on the Adam 71 Adam.
So that starts the chaotic scene, everyone calling for help, and then you have people, as you can only imagine, the word spreading through the building.
Is there a unit that can respond to the Mission 3 918 23rd and Folsom?
We know we're locking themselves in rooms. We know people were trying to get anywhere to safety. We know it's a very large facility. It's unclear how many
98 to the critical incident, code 3, Park Station.
And then you have everything that has transpired since, with even the people waiting inside for those hours.
Can I get CCP location again?
Now since it happened inside a building just, really about 20 minutes ago, finally being led out.
Folsom and Tree close. It looks like mid-block. RP heard a female scream loudly from inside of an unknown building in the area.
Locations where the day will undoubtedly extend, as this investigation does as well.
We've seen pictures come out after the fact in other similar scenarios where you see co-workers, classmates barricade themselves inside rooms and classrooms. Every table and chair pushed up against the door. We've seen people who said, I was ready to fight back.
Yeah, the change. I'm showing you somebody at Alameda and Tingley.
Was coming toward us.
Hey, firm, I need someone at 904 with me with a pick battery, please.
This is the sort of situation workers, students, just about anybody who takes place in modern society has to prepare him or herself for. So it'll be interesting to see as the day goes on what sort of
there with the looking on the 49 X-ray 600 with a pick battery at Alameda and Tingley. Can you come up on there?
Those who have been injured. The newest information we bring you is what we were able to show you live in the earlier hours of our coverage. We see the bodies, unfortunately, of 2 people in the street covered by a yellow tarp, essentially 2 confirmed fatalities. We know 4 people have been taken to SF General for treatment. We do not know the extent extent of their injuries. We know the attacker, believed to be a gunman, was injured as well. We've seen some reports that say the gunman then turned a self-inflicted wound. Don't know if that person is surviving, what the situation is there. I just heard that we're about to hear from the
X-ray machine overtime, tomorrow, X-ray machine.
11:30, so we should get some concrete answers to these.
Arrested tonight.
Something else, Claudia, we frequently hear after a workplace violence incident such as this, a major question that arises, was in fact the there was another situation in the past 2 weeks, and I'll be honest,
Hey, firm, there is. He was told to
situation. We learned that a gunman walked into the building and actually targeted certain people and told others, you can go. Was this a random shooting? Was this a targeted person looking for a specific person or people? We don't know. San Francisco Police...
Yeah, can someone call me on my cell phone, please? 850-5144.
Bringing that to you live here, coming up at 11:30. It does change a little bit of how we look at it to know.
Can you note that we'll be 7A at the station for a little while? There's no available vehicles.
So that does change...
7A at the station for a little while.
If it is a random shooting, if it's in the middle of an airport, or if it's something else, how that investigation kind of leads. So does that person know the people that he was targeting? Was it a disgruntled worker? Was that person mad at UPS? Was that person mad at the person they were shooting?
We were on an 852 earlier. Can you give me the CAD number?
Obviously will be all coming to bear as this investigation
Having truck number on which the 909 is bunker down in.
continuing. A lot of activity still out there. They're not going to leave the situation.
Do we have a truck number, license plate number, or truck number on which the 909 is being held down in?
Stand by, I'll get that.
It is slow and methodical. We've learned, and we're talking about all the other shootings that we have covered and seen. We have learned.
George 15 Adam, this is 85. Southern going to be 1 and 2.
Comes up every single time you have a massive situation like this is communication. Communication to get the scene secure. Communication to get the victim safe. So
6-0 or no exploitation.
Command, and you saw San Francisco Police when we talked about this press conference. We are here. Fire is here. Sheriff is here. We are all here. We're all going to talk to you about how we've worked together.
3 George 15 Adam. -1.
About all the training and all the tweaks, and even more than a tweak, major changes police departments, including SFPD, have made to their protocol in responding to a situation such as this. Think about yourself and just your typical life, not even at school, not even at work. I know I can't go into a theater without making note of, okay, if I needed to get out right now, the closest exit is to my right. I have to fight the instinct.
TCP, Sergeant Layler's going to get the truck information to you right now.
People kind of making those mental notes in unfamiliar buildings, and they're also supposed to make them when you're in a familiar building. I know here in our newsroom, we sit next to each other, and the door closest to our desk isn't the door we'd ever use other than for an emergency. Absolutely. And, you know, and Stan Kephart, that consultant, also talked about how people will exit the building if they need to, where it used to be, when you and I were in school, it was shelter.
We're going to come by and check that out.
Wait till the police come and get you. And there are situations where that is still the best thing for people to do. When you talk about the people who have, in other school shootings, boarded themselves up in the classroom, tried to secure that door as tightly as they can, put furniture in front of it. There are also other situations where they say, you need to get out if you can get away from being a target. And that's how we've changed on airlines as well, where it would be you stay put, and now you see, ever since 9/11, people getting up and saying, you won't do this on my watch either. I'm not an employee of this airline. I am not law enforcement, but you won't do it on my watch as well. And that's unfortunately what we've had to learn from terrorist attacks. Now, again, we don't know what this is. It appears to be a workplace shooting. The building is now secure.
And open with the ignition showing off, and nobody has actual eyes on the car.
Please continue to cover and gather the very latest information. But as you can see from this shot,
the 415, 1275 California.
This is still a very active scene with the streets and even the on-ramp to the freeway and around there still shut down. And if we can take that other picture, if I can ask the director to pop it up, it's the picture with 101 on the far right.
65-418-1650 Broadway,
they are slow as they are heading right by the building. Keep in mind,
safety has
closed northbound 101 at Vermont.
Yes, it works.
Very briefly from just minutes ago, they also said that they're asking people not to call 911 information, not to call 911 if I think my dad works in the building.
Go ahead.
I think my mom was heading there late this morning. So they're saying
904, the loading docks have a delivery.
purpose, and that is emergency, not information-seeking calls. So again, we're now just about 15 minutes away, Claudine, from what we expect to be a first thorough briefing from San Francisco Police. They've been on the scene here since 9 o'clock in the morning. Here we might see some of that getting ready. So again, major questions here that are waiting to be answered. Number one, who is the shooter? What condition is that shooter in? We know that 2 people have been shot and killed on the street. We saw their bodies covered. Are there any more people who have died as a result? And also, what is the condition of the 4 people we know being treated right now at San Francisco General Hospital? The larger question, Claudine, of course, is why did this happen?
And that it may take a while to figure out. We don't know if there was some altercation or some reason for that shooter to be in there. We do want to go down to Henry Lee, who has been at the scene all morning. Henry, what do you have?
Okay, I'm here standing at 17th and Potrero with Susana. Susana, you're trying to reach your husband, right?
Yes.
He works at UPS. Have you been able to reach him?
I see last this morning before coming to work.
Okay, have you been able to talk to him after this happened?
No.
So where do we know is going on? Have you been able to?
No, because I don't know. I don't know say nothing because that's why I want to talk to him because I don't know what happened. This is something injury or something. I don't know.
Okay, and what is are you worried right now about?
Yes, I'm worried with him because I don't know him.
How long has he worked here at UPS?
Oh, he worked almost 25 years.
25 years, and again, what's the latest? Have you heard from any of his coworkers about him?
Her coworker is he's inside, but I don't know. Now I don't know what happened to you because I need to know her police maybe information.
All right, okay. Thank you very much. And again, that was Susana. She is trying to get word on her husband of 25 years who works at UPS. She did talk to him earlier this morning before he left for work, but has since been unable to reach him. Obviously, we certainly hope for a good outcome for Susana, but that is the latest. We are waiting here with some relatives here at 17th and Potrero. We'll send it back to you.
Yeah, Henry, I was going to ask you, this is a situation where, police are saying 911's flooded by calls from people who want to know their loved ones are okay. We saw some workers who were on the phone and had their phones with them, but really, whenever this happened, if your phone had been at your desk or in your bag or you had been somewhere else, you can't go to get it necessarily, and other people with you might be in that same situation where they just couldn't reach their phones, and we hope certainly for her that her husband is okay. It just breaks my heart to see that, not knowing, and how anxious people are. Are you seeing a lot of other people beginning to gather because they maybe can't get through on the phones?
We've seen a steady stream of people walking up to this corner, 17th and Potrero. We have talked to people who have made telephonic or text contact with their loved ones, but just have not yet been able to see them because they are undergoing a debriefing. As we've seen throughout the course of this morning, we've seen many dozens of UPS workers in their brown uniforms coming to the scene. They've been frisked before they go underneath the yellow tape for an additional follow-up with investigators, many of whom may have been in the building or perhaps evacuated or perhaps just coming to work. And that is the latest here as we stand at the corner of 17th Potrero. Back to you.
All right, Henry Lee, thank you so much. I'll pass on a bit of information that might be of key to the woman we just spoke with, the one looking for her husband, a longtime UPS employee. We've just learned here that UPS drivers who've been evacuated from this facility are being taken to a church at